Look at this. Did you do this? Did you do this? Who did this? Look at this. Look. Look at what somebody did. Look. Look at this. Who would do something like this? Who? Who would do something like this? You know what this was? This was a Rubik's Cube. But now it's ruined. That's right. Because a couple of weeks ago, I was at my mom's place to sort through like old toys and stuff that I had like back when I was growing up. And this was, and there was one of them that was like a little, it's an I can't believe it's not butter container that supposedly had some of my toys in it. And earlier, I got it home and I took it out. And look what somebody did to my Rubik's Cube. Look at this. Look what somebody did to this. I had this in storage for 25 years. And look, and I get it out and look, somebody ripped the whole face of it off. And these are some of the pieces to it, see? These are some of the parts to it that were in the same container. Who would do something like this? See, this was a prized puzzle back in my day, like back in the early 80s when I was growing up. This is a really big deal. This used to be a really big deal. See, it was like a oh, now it's falling apart even more. See? But it was, now it's getting worse. But that was, a Rubik's Cube. But in the present condition, it ought to be called the Ruined Cube. That's what it is. It's ruined. Because somebody didn't take care of it when I had it in storage. So now it's falling apart even more. Now I can't fix it. But this is a big deal. I remember how That's Incredible, the TV show, how they had a competition once. It was a contest. Who could solve a Rubik's Cube the fastest? And I think that there was also another time on That's Incredible. They had one where there was some guy, I think it was some college student or something. He solved a Rubik's Cube with his feet. He did that. But it ain't going to be this one, because this one is ruined. Unless I can put it back together. I was mad when I found the condition this was in. But then again, it probably didn't help matters that back in my day, sometimes, like if you know how like when you're growing up, you get in arguments with your siblings and stuff, and you throw something at them, and then they hold out a door to block it. That used to happen with me. Like I used to get in arguments with my brother, like back when I was growing up. And he would say something, he would go like that. When he thought he won the argument, he would go and then I would get mad. I'd throw something at his door, at his bedroom door. And then he would hold the door out and block it. And that created like at least 3 dents in his door. because he held the door out to block it. He held the door out. So this is probably one of the items that I threw at him. But still, it does not justify the condition that I found it in during our toy sort a couple weeks ago. The instructions miraculously are still there. See? Rubik's Cube from Ideal. See? The instructions are still there. Rubik's Cube puzzle. Let's see, does it have a date on it? Copyright Ideal Toy Corporation, 1980. But at the end it says, if you give up, we've got the solution and it's available by mail. Or you could just take it apart and put it back together again, which I did once. But that's not what broke it. It was still, I did take it apart once and put it back together the right way, but that's not how it got broke. And I used to have a book that had the solution to it. But this was like a big craze in the early 80s. I remember the first time I saw one was because there was some girl on the school bus always used to have one. Here's some other things from that container. There's a Fruit Loops decoder ring. That's right, this is a Fruit Loops decoder ring. I guess that's what that is. I don't know why I have it. There's a little toy car. And there's this Rubik's Cube that's destructoed. One of these days I'm going to try and put it back together. Oh, I was able to put that piece back in. It's a miracle. I was able to put one of the corners back in. And one of the edges. Actually, one of the faces that should be just a red face on the Rubik's Cube should fit on there. I think I left it in the other room. There might be a whole website about Rubik's Cube repair. Wouldn't that be cool? And I used to have another Rubik's thing too. I used to have Rubik's, I think it was called Rubik's World. It was like a tiny little globe that was kind of solved. I was like a little kid, like in the early '80s when I got that. I think I found it at a yard sale, and I had it until the mid '90s when I had it stored. I had a big box of stuff at my old apartment in Highland Heights back in the mid '90s. I had a big box of stuff, and it was sitting on. I was going through it, and it was sitting on top of it, and some kid in the neighborhood charged into my. He was always doing this stuff. He just charged into my apartment, grabbed it off the top of him, grabbed it off the top of the box, took it, and threw it up, and I couldn't catch him because at the time this kid was like 8 years old, and I was probably about 22. So I couldn't keep up with him. So, and I said, hey, what are you doing with that? And he takes it out in the front yard, picks up a baseball bat and starts playing with the Rubik's World like it was a baseball or a softball or something, and hitting it with the baseball bat, and it fell apart then when he did that. So after that it was, really? What a brat. And he did that with stuff. You couldn't stop him. See? I did it. I was able to put that edge piece back in. Now this side should go right there. One of the problems is going to be to get that other face on there. It's a face. So, and it got ruined. Now I wonder who's going to be blamed for ruining this. Now you can bet your bottom dollar that if I confront my family members about the condition that it's in, they're going to say, "Well, it's because you didn't take it home. It's because you didn't get it out of here in time or something. You caused it to be crushed by not getting it out of here a long time ago." That's what they're going to say. But anyway, that's the story of putting the roux in Rubik's Cube.